Good day, students. Welcome to another lesson in English 003 Oral Communication. I'm Miss Jane Aragon. I'll be continuing the lesson in Communicative Competence. Before that, imagine this scenario. A group of students goes to the second floor of a building and meets their teacher. They ask their teacher regarding where the faculty room is located. The teacher tells them that it is down the hall. The students then go down the stairs to the first floor but could not find the faculty room. Now, how did this happen? It is due to the lexical aspect, wherein you need context in order to understand what certain words or phrases mean. By definition, the lexical aspect involves properly understanding and using of words, phrases, and idioms. An example of these words are the words night and evening. Depending on the context, they might mean different things. For example, good night means bidding goodbye to someone, while good evening is greeting someone. There are different ways to use or understand the lexical aspect. First, there is understanding the connotation of the words. Let's take a look at this sentence. She's my baby. The definition of the word baby might mean different things. Connotation, which is producing feelings and images in the minds of the hearer. Baby means a girlfriend or a lover or a significant other. On the other hand, the denotation or the dictionary meaning or literal meaning means that baby is an infant or a newly born child. Connotation is basically the figurative meaning, which is not really the exact meaning of the word, rather things that are connected to it. Let's take a look at another example of the denotation and connotation of certain things. First, we have the snake. Its denotation is that it's a limbless, scaly, elongated reptile inhabiting tropical and temperate areas. The connotation is that a snake is someone repulsive, scary, dangerous, or an evil or untrustworthy friend. Another example is the raven. Its denotation is it's a large, heavily built crow with many black plumage, feeding chiefly on insects and fish. The connotation is that it's a bad omen or prophecy and insight. Let's take a look at other examples. For example, a dove. Its denotation, a dove is an animal, normally white or gray in color. The connotation is a dove means peace. Another is that color red. Red as a denotation, it's one of the primary colors. As a connotation, red can mean passion or anger or even love. Another example is the crocodile. As denotation, it's a reptile that feeds on small mammals or birds that can enter its swamp. As a connotation, a crocodile is someone who's greedy. Then we have a rose, whose denotation is it's a flower with many petals. As a connotation, a rose signifies love. Next, we have the rainbow. As denotation, a rainbow is the reflection or refraction of light. As connotation, it can mean hope or even good luck. It can even mean pride or for the LGBTQ community. Another way to use or understand the lexical aspect is by using idioms. Idioms are expressions whose meaning is not predictable from the usual meanings of its constituent elements. They offer advice about how to live and also transfer some underlying ideas, principles, and values of a given culture or society. These are basically phrases that don't really mean the literal things that they say. Example of idioms are, it's a piece of cake. You're not saying that the thing or the task is literally a piece of cake. You're saying that it is easy to do. Another is, I have butterflies in my tummy. It doesn't mean that you have literal butterflies inside your stomach. Rather, it means that you are nervous. Other idioms are the following. Back to the drawing board means when you attempt something and you failed, it means that you need to go back to the start or you need to start over. The ball is in your court means that it's up to you to make the next decision. Barking up the wrong tree means that you're looking at the wrong place or you're accusing the wrong person. Beat around the bush means you're avoiding the main topic or not speaking directly about the issue. Cutting corners are doing something poorly in order to save time or money. And hit the sack simply means to go to sleep. As I've said before, idioms are mainly phrases that give advice, and you do not literally mean what you say, rather than you're symbolizing what you mean. Another use for lexical aspect is understanding the non-literal use of words or expressions. For example, friends are like parachutes. If they aren't there the first time you need them, chances are you won't be needing them again. So when you say understanding the non-literal use of words or expressions, you mainly use figurative expression or figures of speech. Figures of speech are defined as language that goes beyond the normal meaning of the words. So there are numerous numbers of figures of speech. However, we'll only be discussing the 10 most basic ones. So we have simile, metaphor, personification, understatement, hyperbole, irony, synecdoche, metonymy, oxymoron, and euphemism. So let's head on to simile. Simile is comparing two different ideas or objects by making them the same using the words like or as to connect them. For example, life is like a box of chocolates. You're comparing life as a box of chocolates, and as you can see, it used the word like to connect those two different things. Next, we have metaphor. This shows comparison between two dissimilar or unlike things without the use of like and as. So metaphor, unlike simile, is more direct in its comparison. Example, a good laugh is sunshine in the house. And he firmly believes that laughter is the best medicine. As you can see, they're comparing two things that's not really connected to each other. So that's how metaphor is used. Next, we have personification. This assigns actions done by humans to something non-human or abstract. You're making something that doesn't really do anything or isn't really alive do things that humans commonly do. For example, the tree bowed and waved to me in the wind. And another is, one look at the garden and you could tell that the plants were begging for water. So, looking at the first example, the tree bowed and waved to me in the wind, the tree doesn't really bow and wave. it's merely being moved by the wind. And the other example, the plants are not literally begging you to water them. It means that it looks like they are dried out and they need to be watered. Next, we have understatement. It is a statement that represents something as smaller or less intense or less important than it really is. Example, I was somewhat worried when the psychopath ran toward me with a chainsaw. Another is, I've had the worst. So when you say understatement, you're saying that something is not that bad, even though it actually is. For example, you hit your head really hard on the wall to the point that you grow a bump, but you say that it's nothing or it's just a bruise. So next, we have hyperbole, which is the opposite of understatement, wherein this is exaggerated or overstatement or of claim. In understatement, you're making something little. In hyperbole, you're exaggerating it. For example, she cried so long that she made a lake. And another is, my feet are killing me. So, in the first example, she cried so long that she made a lake. Nobody can cry that hard that you can make an artificial body of water. And in the next example, my feet are killing me. Your feet cannot literally kill you. Rather, you mean that your feet merely hurt so much that it feels like they're killing you. Other examples are, I've told you 100 times, or even I told you 1,000,000 times. Next, it costs $1 billion. I could do this forever. She is older than dirt, and everybody knows that. So these are mainly exaggerations. Next, we have irony. This expression normally signifies the opposite, typically for a humorous or empathic effect. So irony can be connected to sarcasm, sarcasm is verbal irony, because there are 3 types of irony. We have situational irony, we have dramatic irony, and verbal irony. As said before, verbal irony is mainly sarcasm, in which you are saying something that is really the opposite of what's happening or what you feel. Situational irony is an irony for the situation. And dramatic irony is when the audience knows something but the character doesn't. So, example of irony is things I hate. Number 1, vandalism. Number 2, irony. And number 3, list. This example is an irony because he listed things that he literally done himself. So he said that he hates vandalism and yet he vandalized the wall. He hates irony yet he did irony. And he hates list but he did a list. So that's a situational irony, or if it's said out loud, it's a verbal irony. Next, we have phone out of service, give us a call. So this is an example of a situational irony wherein it's basically saying to call even though you are out of service. Next, we have synecdoche or synecdoche, depending on who you ask. This states a part to represent the whole or vice versa. For example, I had to sell my wheels, or we've got too many mouths to feed. This picture symbolizes synecdoche, meaning part of the whole, because the man asking for the woman's hand in marriage does not simply want her hand to marry, he wants the whole woman. So in synecdoche, you're using a part of the object or a person to represent the entirety of it. So other examples are wheels to represent a car, plastic to represent credit cards, Coke to represent any soft drink or cola drink, army to represent a soldier, the police to represent one policeman. And in the sentence, let's take a look at the sentence. Tina is learning her ABCs in preschool. ABCs represent the whole alphabet. So Tina is just learning the alphabet, not just ABC. Next, we have metonymy, which is a thing or concept is called not by its own name, but rather by the name of something associated in meaning with that thing or concept. For example, I pledge my service to the crown, meaning you're dedicating your loyalty to the queen or to the royal family. And next, the White House will be here tomorrow. It doesn't mean that the White House itself will be moved to that location. It means that either the president or a representative of the American government will be coming there. So metonymy and synecdoche is really close. So what is the difference between metonymy and synecdoche? According to Mark Forsyth in one of his books, The Elements of Eloquence, the extreme form of metonymy is synecdoche. So in metonymy, you compare or connect two things because they are physically connected. For example, the crown represents the queen or king or even the royal family, because when you see the royal family, they wear a crown, so you can physically see the object and they are connected. And you connect the American government with the White House because the American government is mainly happening in the White House. On the other hand, synecdoche takes a part of the object to represent it as a whole. So when you say synecdoche, you're not just taking an object physically connected to it, you're taking a part of that object itself. Example, lend me your eyes and ears. It means give me your attention or pay attention, not to literally give them your eyes and ears. And two brains are better than one, meaning two people working together is better. Two brains represent that two people. Additional examples for metonymy. The White House was planning to attack the British Crown with the support of Wall Street. Number 10 said it was unacceptable though the Vatican refused to get involved. This means that the American government plans to attack the royal family with the support of the rich. The British government said that it was unacceptable, but the Pope refused to get involved. In synecdoche, we have, was this the face that launched 1,000 ships and burnt the topless towers of Ilium from Helen of Troy? Face represents Helen or Helen's beauty. 1,000 ships represents the Trojan War. And topless towers of Ilium represents the attack on Troy or the result of the attack of Troy. Next figure of speech, we have the oxymoron. This expression uses contradictory terms in the same phrase. It uses mainly two words that means the exact opposite of each other, and you place them near or besides each other. So we have original copy. You already said that it's a copy, yet you said it's original. An honest liar. You said it's a liar, but you're telling them that the liar is honest. And loud silence. The word oxymoron is actually an oxymoron in itself, because the word oxy means something smart and moron means someone or something idiotic or stupid. Next, we have the euphemism. Euphemism is a mild, indirect, or vague term substituting for a harsh, blunt, or offensive term. Example, I'm going to have to let you go, instead of directly telling them that they're fired from their jobs. And another, hello Simpson, Somebody said you had gone into the timber and phosphorus business. So in this case, the other guy or the friend is trying to make the job more sophisticated than it seems. Euphemism is an indirect or mild word or expression substituted for the one that is considered to be blunt or harsh. You're not fat, you're cuddly, or instead of saying someone is ugly, you say that their face is unique. So in modern times, euphemism can be connected to being politically correct, wherein you try to use polite words in order to not offend anyone. Other examples of euphemisms: lying is such a harsh word, Your Honor. We prefer to call it testimony without borders. Another: we're going to have to let you go instead of you're fired. And lastly, we have let's attack. Shh, it's not an attack, it's a military intervention. So that's the end of the lesson. Thank you for listening.
Happy learning at home with lessons made easy by Olivarian GoTeach. One proud Olivarian.